Hi friends, it is good to be with you today. This is the eNews for Wednesday, June 26th. I hope that you are doing well. We have had a wonderful and eventful last week at Elf and Wild Church. I mentioned last eNews about VBS. That was last week and went terrifically. We had a wonderful week of 150 kids and more volunteers and more members of the skits and toddlers, and it was a very, very full sanctuary, full of energy, full of joy. It was really a wonderful week. We do just want to acknowledge all the volunteers that participated in that, and Nicole Powell also, especially. And just the wonderful work that went into, the hard work that went into preparing a week of joy for so many kids and families. And a lot went into that week, but a lot also went into this past Sunday as well. We had Celebration Sunday, and so the work didn't end there, but Nicole also did a wonderful job preparing a celebration for all that God did in the week last Sunday after worship. We had food, we had all kinds of festivities, big bounce house out in the youth house, which kids enjoyed very much, and it was really just a great day of celebrating, again, all that God did through the people of Elf and Wild. It was really a blessing to have His grace throughout our week and just be able to be a blessing and His light to so many families who came to Elf and Wild perhaps for the first time. So we had a great last week. John Burgess was our preacher on Sunday, and he preached on another portion of the Lord's Prayer. 2 weeks ago, he did Thy Kingdom Come. And this past Sunday, he spoke on Thy Will Be Done, and what it means to follow the Lord's will, and how difficult it can be also to even say that prayer, Thy Will Be Done, and the sacrifice that that takes on our part. So it was really a great Sunday. It was a great day of worship. A lot of people, especially in the 1110 for Celebration Sunday. The kids were here and they did their songs from VBS that they learned throughout the week. And just a blessing always to see them up front. And the joy that that fills in this sanctuary is really tremendous. So if you weren't able to be here, I would encourage you to go back and watch that service online or on YouTube. You'll have access to be able to watch that. Go back and hear the sermon, hear the kids, and enjoy that time of worship that we had together. Behind me here, you may still be able to see the big banner. Behind that is our organ, and very soon, actually already this week has begun the process of taking the organ apart. Taking out the old pipes, taking out the pipes on the outside, and the construction has started. All the anticipation is coming together now. And so with that process, I do want to just make you aware that this coming Sunday, June 30th, we will have worship downstairs in Fellowship Hall. So normally we'd be in the sanctuary through the summer and do some outdoor worship services. From here on out, we will not be in the sanctuary at all. Simply because of the dust and debris that's probably going to come from taking this wall down and taking the organ pieces out. Could be very dirty, and we don't want people to be breathing all that in and experiencing that. So we will be downstairs for worship, but if you would like to, you are more than welcome to come up to the sanctuary after worship, between the worship services, Sunday school hour, and come and see all the progress that is being made. You'll be able to come and see physically all that's being taken apart and worked on in the sanctuary. And furthermore, for those who are not able to come to the sanctuary, our plan also, we're trying to put things together still, but our plan and our hope is to put together a video that'll be able to show the progress over the entire summer that the sanctuary has gone under, all the construction elements that have gone into preparing this organ replacement. So that'll be really neat. Hopefully we get that working and you'll be able to see, even without being in the sanctuary, everything that has gone on in the sanctuary while we are worshiping in other places. So it's really a blessing to be able to do this construction, to be able to have the means to carry on this task. The grace of God has really been involved completely in preparing for this and having the hands to do this and the different companies that are involved. There was so much that went into this planning, and so we are grateful that that process has now begun, and we get to see the fruit of all that God is doing through that phase. In addition to that, let me just continue to make you aware of all the different opportunities that there still are at Elf and Wild Church. Many different things that you can be a part of while you're here on Sundays and during the week. We have Sunday school between our services at 10 o'clock, 2 classes. Ted Wood will be teaching a class. Matt Harbaugh is teaching a class also. So feel free to come to those. We have young adult group. We have prayer group on Sunday nights. We have Wednesday night Bible studies. So there's a lot of ways that you can be involved. We would love to have you. Those things are important as we are the body of Christ, to be together as we glorify God through learning, through His Word and the Scriptures, praying together, all sorts of things. And those are all extremely important. On the Sunday school note, let me also just say that the Bain family will be in town. They are missionaries that we are partnered with, and they've been at Elfinwild for a long time. And they will be back in the States. They will be here on Sunday, June 30th, and they will have a moment in worship where they will share some of the updates that their family is going through and their mission work. And they will also be here during Ted Wood's class in the Sunday school hour. So if you'd like to hear from them, be sure to come Sunday and to the Sunday school hour in the chapel so that you can hear everything that they've been working on in their mission work that the Lord has them in. It'll be great to have them home, and we're excited for that. With that, let me just share, hopefully, an encouragement with you this week. I've been dwelling actually for a while now on a devotional that I had done earlier in June. I shared it with the staff, and it's just been one that I've been thinking about throughout the summer and thought it'd be worth sharing with you today also. The devotional that it's from is Charles Spurgeon's Morning and Evening. And he takes a verse and then analyzes that verse throughout the devotional. And he has morning text and evening text. And I would really encourage you to use it. It's been a great devotional for me, an encouragement for me this summer and through the years I've been working through it. But I do want to share just one of the verses that he goes through. And I won't read the whole thing, but just give you an idea of the truth that he's talking about here. So the verse that he's pulling from, and this is the June 3rd morning, he's pulling from 1 Chronicles chapter 4, verse 23. And this is really an obscure verse, kind of. It's one that we would read over probably pretty quickly unless someone made us pause on it. But let me read it for you. It says, "These were potters, and those that dwelt among plants and hedges, for there they dwelt with the king for his work." So what he's talking about here is simply people who were working as potters. These were people who had, frankly, low positions in the work of the kingdom. They were dealing with plants, they were dealing with hedges, they were making pottery, dealing with clay, and it wouldn't have been seen as a great task, a great job to have in that day. But Charles Spurgeon writes a great point about it. Let me just read a portion of what he says in this devotional. He says, "Potters were not the very highest grade of workers, but the king needed potters, and therefore they were in royal service, although the material upon which they worked was nothing but clay. We too may be engaged in the most menial part of the Lord's work, but it is a great privilege to do anything for the king, and therefore we will abide in our calling." That was encouraging to me. I shared that with the staff and have been dwelling on that as I've just been thinking about what the summers looked like. And the reminder for me has simply been what he says here, that we often think that there are really insignificant portions to our life. Maybe it's the job that you are doing, the work that we are called to, whatever Christ has us doing in our life and our relationships. It gets pretty easy to think that we are doing something that is menial, something that is meaningless, something that is insignificant in the world. And the culture sort of pulls that together, right? The more we get paid in our job, the better our life is, right? That's what progress, that's what success is measured by. And the reminder I think that Spurgeon is giving us here is that no matter what our task is, the worth is not in the task. The worth is who the task is for. And so he talks about these potters that are working for the king. And the potter's job is not one that's extravagant, but he's working for the king. And the worth is not in the job, the worth is in the king. And I think about that in our Christian lives, and again, all that Christ has called you to, Christ has called me to in our lives. It may seem to the world as very insignificant things. And in the world's eyes, they may be insignificant things. But in the work of the Lord, if we are working for Christ, if we are focused on Him, and we are doing our work for the glory of God, then it is in Him that we find our worth. It is in Him that our tasks on earth have any meaning at all. And so as you go into your week, I hope that you are encouraged. I hope that you remember that God is the one who is worthy. And in everything that we do, whether we eat or drink, whatever we do it for the glory of God, right? 1 Corinthians 10. And so go into your week knowing that all that you have been called to is not insignificant because we do it for the King. We do it for the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. And as long as we are working to bring Him glory, we are doing something meaningful in the eyes of God. So know that this week. I hope that finds you well. Be well. I hope that we are able to see you on Sunday for worship down in Fellowship Hall. It'll be a wonderful service. We hope to see you there or online. We would be happy to have you in either way. But until then, friends, take care. Be well this week.